Yeah. Don't forget your tea that's twisted. Do you prefer twisted tea or Mike's Hard Lemonade?
I prefer twisted.
I prefer Mike's.
Yeah. I wasn't hard when I made that
I'm
tea.
still
By
not
the way.
in there very well.
I say.
Just scoot in. Come on, dude. Let's get
And
on.
let's,
I'm halved.
yeah, it's this cable.
You're halved. So, did you guys watch the Tyson fight?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing last night.
All right, this was like WWE style, dude. Like I'm not even kidding. Mike Tyson did a promo, and his whole ass was out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like,
Yeah, and what's even weird that he kissed the guy that was interviewing him.
Yeah.
He's like,
I love you.
Nothing but violence. Love you. Turned around, his ass cheeks were just out. And I was in shock.
He did the press conference in a thong.
He did.
He did. Well, the way.
Honestly, that's on Netflix for just being unprofessional. Like you can tell he had never done a lot of them ever.
And
Well, no,
they're trying to get into sports too. That's the worst part.
I don't think it was a live event aspect. I don't think they were ready for Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson.
Maybe he was like facing them when they first came in for the interview, and they didn't know that his ass was just out, and so he turned around. And they're like, "Oh fuck."
Well, look at what Jake Paul's doing though. He is turning boxing into more of a entertainment industry, and who better to put that towards than Mike Tyson? Because if you don't recall, Mike Tyson's always been that way. He's just been.
This was a goofy fucker.
He was worse at one time. Remember when he had that? There was this press person that was talking shit or something, and he's like, "I'm gonna fuck you till you love me." Oh, he said that to him. But no, I don't think that. I think what happened in that fight is Tyson was injured going in. His neck brace was all fucked up.
That's true too.
We're already recording.
We are?
We have been this whole time.
That's your ask. Are we recording? Because I'm sitting here moving shit.
Yeah, it's fine. Raw and unfiltered. That's how I like it. But with the Tyson fight, though, he had a knee brace on. He had a heart problem, as far as I know. I think Paul had it. He just didn't want to hurt Tyson.
Well, it goes beyond that. I mean, he was double his age.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
You should. I'm gonna copy this off of what I heard this morning, but you should be able to beat anybody with an AARP card in their wallet.
I don't know though, but if this was like 4 years ago, Mike Tyson, when he fought Roy Jones, I think it would have been a better fight.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think that'd be hard to watch too. I think they're both too old.
Well, I think at this point, freaking anything on Netflix was hard to watch.
What made me laugh though is I'm like going into this fight. Is Tyson gonna be naked? Because he like was in a thong during
He really was.
his whole bare ass was out during the fucking weigh-in.
Oh no.
And I found it funny. Paul came out to "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins with a bunch of pigeons.
He had a pigeon in there.
I didn't see it.
Cool. Apparently, the reason why Mike Tyson started fighting in the first place because he got bullied when he was younger. He had a pet pigeon. I guess they killed it, and that's when he was like, you know what? I'm gonna hurt people now forever. and so Jake's little mind game was, I'm gonna present a pigeon, just to
And Tyson's
knock
always,
him off his rocker. But
he's always been into pigeons.
Wasn't there one where he gave him a pigeon? He's like, "This is food for my falcon."
yeah, he brought that same pigeon. They had Gas Monkey Garage have like this. I don't even know what to call it, but it's like a car. They spray painted it all looking cool and shit like that. And he just rode out listening to the song and shit, and they had the pigeon in the back with the fucking cage.
That shit's crazy. He also has a cartoon. Have you seen it? Mike Tyson's Mysteries.
Yeah, it used to be on like Adult Swim, I think.
That shit, it's like Scooby-Doo, but with Mike Tyson talking to pigeons.
It's something.
PJ's over here like, oh, this is why I don't watch TV.
Exactly.
It's entertainment. Come on, dude. Let's watch Tyson's fight with his bare ass old. Speaking of TV, though, I've lately been on the Netflix. Have you guys seen that fucking show, Ancient Aliens? Shit's crazy.
Yes, I have.
I don't even have Netflix, so no.
So this show, and it's kind of weird.
What was that one guy?
They got crazy hair.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Yeah.
It gets weird though because
Aliens, fuck the pyramids.
after the first 2 seasons, they just cover the same shit.
It honestly is rinse, wash, repeat.
Yeah.
But it's super fun to watch.
See,
man.
and that's why I got out of TV. Because almost all TVs, rinse, wash, repeat.
Yeah, it's ran through.
But
It's like a fucking cheap whore.
it's a great show to watch, but after you've watched a few seasons, you've seen them all. Like their theory is, and it's very interesting theory if you dig deep into it. The theory is the pyramids, they were put there but the blocks are like millions of pounds. There's no way a human being could have picked that up without modern technology. Could have picked it up. So the theory either is that we don't give the Egyptians enough credit and they had the same technology we have now.
Bullshit.
Which, how do they lift up them blocks? So that don't make sense. Or we were visited by extraterrestrials who helped with their
That'd
technology.
be another argument and shit, yeah. And of course you got the hieroglyphics. Like on the walls and
Easy
stuff.
for you to say.
No, it's very hard to say.
I know.
So,
I didn't try.
or cinnamon. That's hard too.
Cinnamon. Cinnamon, that's my favorite flavor.
But yeah, it's you see them on the walls and stuff in there, and it looks like UFOs.
And it also don't make sense because a lot of, and they even go into like ancient like gods and goddesses and all that shit, and they're like, they came from the sky, they came from the stars. Could be extraterrestrials.
Could be.
That was our way of interpreting it.
Did you see about that conference or whatever about the aliens in the ocean that just came out?
They believe that they came from the ocean.
There was like 4. One of them was like an ex-Navy. I don't know if he's a commander or whatever he was, but they had like a whole press thing about it. And they're just like, yeah, there's definitely bodies and shit in the ocean that are like of higher intelligence but non-human.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, no one fucking cares, dude. My gallon of milk's $5. Like the whole world, that's the whole world's just been gaslighted for especially America for like so long that it's just like
In the United States,
they could come out and say Hitler's still alive, but I don't fucking care at this point. Like I just
No.
want my heads of lettuce to not be $7.
it's crazy though because they're like, yeah,
Please.
aliens are real, and Americans are like, nah, we ain't gonna listen. But
Don't
like,
even fucking care.
it's weird because the water, our space is more explored than water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that goes back to the old ancient theory of like the Atlanteans
Yeah, that's true.
came from the water. The ancient Egyptians believed that they didn't have the whole space. They had a lot of like astrology shit, but they believed that they came from the water.
You know why I think we don't explore the ocean more?
It's terrifying.
Terrible.
Well, besides that,
It's a scary.
there's a ratio people don't realize. Would you go swimming in a swimming pool if it had a dead body in it?
Well, depends.
My point being is you have to think about it. But yet you'll go swimming in the ocean and there's thousands of dead bodies in there.
Oh, yeah.
So there's clearly a dead body to water ratio.
Yeah, I mean,
That people are comfortable swimming in.
that's why I go to public pools. There's less chances of a dead body. Not like zero.
It's not
chance.
zero,
I'd
but
say
it's never zero.
Like your chances of being killed by like a pigeon. It's never zero.
It's never zero.
In a rooster, your chances go up.
Dude, I witnessed, I won't say names, but I witnessed an almost murder by a rooster. And then her husband came up and pounded the whole body of it, killed the rooster.
Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus.
Because she tripped on like a log or something. Then the rooster came over and started like going for her neck with the talons and shit. Her husband came running up and just punted the whole thing.
I had this woman that she lived in the Ohio Valley. She's no longer with us, but she had roosters and chickens and shit. And I never felt comfortable going to her house. Like, I love going, but I always got assaulted every time I left my car. Them things aren't from this earth.
Yeah. Roosters don't give a damn.
See, Mike just goes to somebody's house and gets assaulted by cock.
Yeah, he just gets assaulted by cock everywhere he goes.
We can actually say this because it's a name for a rooster. However, we can't say the other C word unless we're Australian.
Or anywhere else in the whole world.
Yeah.
We're the only place. There's always definitives, like differences between like England, especially in America. We had everything the complete opposite. We wanted to distance ourselves from the crown so much when the founding people came over, because it was like, you know, we drive on, you know, we do the right side of the road, like we're going to, or they do left, we do the right, and then like.
I don't even think you can
They-
count
and we
that
say-
because
we
we
do
weren't
what?
driving then.
No, but like still, whenever that did come, we were like, we're going to the opposite, because everywhere else in the world,
Well,
they drive
in the
all,
metric
all
system,
the same.
But that's just it. Is
Yeah, we're like, nope, centimeters.
we started that.
Yeah, but we did it different.
You know what's
We can't. They did it different. Technically, we
Yeah.
started the driving.
Yeah,
But also, it's like rock, paper, scissors. Anywhere else in the world, they go scissors, paper, rock. Like fucking.
Our way don't make sense though on a theoretical standpoint because mailboxes are always on the wrong side of the road in our country.
I would hate to be a mailman.
But overseas, the mailbox is on the correct side of the road.
But it's really not, because they also drive from the other side of the vehicle.
But they keep their mailboxes on the same side we do. So when they pull up, they can get their mail and shit.
But that's just it. They can't. Because think about it. You drive on the left side of the road, but their steering wheels are on the right-hand side of the car.
Yeah, but their mailboxes are still on the proper side of the road, is what I'm trying to say. It's not
If they were on the same side for us, they would be. Think about it. Okay, they drive in the left-hand lane compared to us, and they drive from the right-hand side of the car.
Yeah.
Their mailboxes are on the left-hand side of the
they're
road.
on the right side.
Okay, but still, they drive on the left side of the road. So they'd have to cross into traffic.
Yeah, but why the hell is
deliver.
your car on a main highway? You can still, you can just pull off the side of the road.
It's still a dangerous job, no matter the way you look
You
at
know
it.
what also don't make sense when driving is when I went out west. Now, Ohio does this in some places, but everywhere when I was out west, you would go off the interstate, right? It'd be a whole fucking lane until the exit, so you have time to get over.
Oh God, don't go to Pittsburgh.
Here it's just to all the Pittsburgh listeners, fuck your state. Especially Pittsburgh.
Oh, I love it. You come out of the tunnel. All right, here's 7 lanes. You need one of them. Make your decision now.
And the signage is hidden underneath the beams. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, which sign do I need? Oh, that exit clear over there. Like, you have to know Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. You come out of the tunnel in 2 lanes, and as soon as you come out, it's like 8. It's like, okay, now you need 1, and you've got 20 seconds to find out all the signs while driving which one you need.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
I lived there for like 6 months, and it was just...
See, I've been there enough times now, it doesn't bother me. But what I do love doing is going through there and watching all the people that have never done it.
Oh, they freak
You know
out.
what I used to hate
Watching people dive every which direction.
I don't mind doing it nowadays because we have GPS technology,
Yeah.
but when we had to print out MapQuest,
MapQuest and shit. Yeah.
I never did that.
Oh, it's awful.
So I worked
Awful.
with a guy back at a furniture store I used to work at, old school truck driver. So I learned the old school ways of doing shit without using MapQuest or any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like you start learning that, okay, every block in a city, well, it's named after, let's say, presidents. So you just go find your president.
There you go, yeah.
Or, this area is named after birds. And then, like, you turn around and get into it, and then their address is 0.001 mile down the road if your address number's 1 on that. It's all done by mileage. So you can easily find where the fuck you need to go without that shit.
Yeah.
It was designed that way on purpose, but people nowadays, they've got their phone in their pockets, they don't even fucking know how to use those.
Yeah.
And they're trying to drive while using it.
What's weird is in some places, like you said, they're named after presidents. When I lived in Arizona, it was named after cactuses, different types of desert animals. I'm like, holy shit! There's like 15 different cactus streets.
That was something that...
Oh, go to St. Clairsville. There are 3 different orchards. Find the one you need. There's Orchard Lane, Orchard Drive, and Orchard Avenue. Find the one you need. I would feel really bad for the person that's like delivering pizza for the first time there. And they're like, okay, Orchard Drive, deliver it. And then they get called if the other person never got the pizza because they were supposed to go to the other orchard.
Oh.
And they're not near each other.
See, I'm not good with geography. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
I'm not good with that. Like, I'm not a fucking traveler. I'm not a settler. Like, I would not have done good back. I would have been like Christopher Columbus. I would have thought I'm in India.
You missed by just half the world.
Which, I know there's a lot of controversy around Christopher Columbus, but let's just say he's probably the first ever gaslighter, because he was supposed to go to find India.
Yeah.
But then accidentally, right? I'm sure the whole ship was like, this guy's no clue where the fuck he's going, right? And then find America, he's like, see guys, I told you we'd find something.
Everybody credits him for finding America, but he really didn't even find that.
No.
I wonder how many days it took for
People already here.
Oh,
I wonder how
he
many.
didn't hit America.
No.
I wonder how many days it took for people to realize it wasn't India. This must be India. This is what we're set out to do. And they're walking around. It's like, wasn't there supposed
That's
to be?
probably why they're called Indians.
This and this and
No,
this.
actually,
You know what I mean?
what actually happened historically, and it's kind of fucked up. Still to this day, people call indigenous people Indians. It started by Christopher Columbus coming in and saying, "Oh, we're in India. These are Indians." And then he realized he wasn't there, and he's like, "Oh, fuck it, you're still Indians."
Yeah, fuck it. He just gaslight the fuck out of people. That's all he did. He'd be like, "Oh, it's whatever." But it's
Allegedly,
What?
he had in his journal how he slept with a mermaid. And historically speaking, back then, they thought manatees were mermaids.
So he got himself a nice little, sea cow.
I mean,
being out to sea for a long time, everything starts to look pretty good.
He's like, oh, you see that sea cow over there? We're going to go cow
You
tipping.
spend no time out in the ocean, I'll tell you what.
Especially back in them days, that's probably the only thing that didn't have gingivitis.
No shit.
He also, I guess he was a pioneer of many things. They also found out that the earliest cases of, I think, syphilis came from Columbus's crew of people. Because they were out there sleeping with animals and shit. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Bestiality's that old.
That kind of goes back
Probably
into...
goes way beyond that.
It does.
That
Probably
goes,
biblical times.
That'll go back to... Because like, a lot of people, they like to glorify and like... I don't want to say glorify, that might be the wrong word. Romanticize, like, old Viking days. Like, oh, I wish I could just go back in those days.
No, you would never survive.
Because like, as someone could like see you with your farm and your wife and be like, I want that. I challenge you to death. And you have to fight him. If you don't fight him, you lose it no matter what. Yeah. And then you get like shunned. Damn, yeah, everyone's like, you're just a pussy cow. You're never going to bow how the fuck you. And then, if you do fight him, you have like 50% chance of living or not.
Right?
And that should just happen all the time.
I don't think
why would you ever want to go live in that type of area?
With me, it's not 50-50. There's like a 100% chance of that.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
gonna kill me.
And I bet that's why all the old guys wanted to die in battle so quickly. It's like, dude, I'm about to lose my land. I'm old as shit. This young guy wants my land. Like, I better just go die in battle real quick, so it's not my problem.
Right?
My son can fight him or some shit, but that's just how it was.
But that's just a lot of things too. People don't realize is, everybody's like, well, history taught us. History didn't teach us shit. History is written by the victor.
Humans taught us, not history.
Mm-hmm.
Humans. There's so much of our history as humans that are gone. Mm-hmm. Either A, due to like certain organized religious groups that have destroyed it over time because they wanted theirs to be right, or countries destroying shit because they wanted to be the correct story. Like, we don't know full... Hell, we don't even know anything much about ancient Egypt, and we've been exploring that for thousands of years.
Because nothing they did make any fucking sense.
Nothing... That and the Sumerians?
Yeah, imagine being in charge of having to figure out how they thought back then. How the fuck are we supposed to know?
Yeah.
We don't. So you just have to make an educated guess.
We just make shit up.
Yeah, they're just like, you know what, maybe they were thinking this, and go ahead and write that down. That's probably what they thought.
That's just
You
like
have no fucking clue.
them pulling up the dinosaurs and shit. They're like, well, this is what it looked like inside. I'm like, how the fuck do you know?
Did you know that they actually discovered that dinosaurs, they did like a DNA test on their bones or whatever, I don't know how that works, and they found out that our depiction, like you stated, is incorrect. Feathers don't fossilize. Mm-hmm. Our vision of the T-Rex, it's not a reptilian creature.
No, like I saw that too because they were like talking about the little arms. They weren't arms; they were wings.
Yeah.
I was like, so great. We didn't have dinosaurs. We had dragons. Got it.
No, we had big ass roosters, and that's more terrifying.
Small roosters terrifying.
Oh yeah, everybody thinks it fucking growls at you. In reality, it just goes. What?
No,
actually, the T-Rex.
Geese are terrifying.
T-Rex was a weird.
Geese don't bother me.
Fuck geese.
T-Rex was a really weird thought because they had feathers, but they didn't growl. They had an underbelly gargle like a crocodile.
Yeah,
which is 10 times more terrifying in the woods. You hear like, whoa, and you look over, there's this big ass rooster. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die today.
Like, you know what's even more scary? Like, especially going back to like the Viking stuff. Can you imagine gay Vikings invading?
I don't think they have
like,
sexuality.
Like England, well, just imagine this, right? It's like you're in England back in those days. You see like an armada of Viking ships, right? And you're like, oh
just
no, it's the Vikings.
Ships.
They're coming to rape our wives and children. And then they just lower the pride flag. Oh fuck!
All the men for themselves. Oh, no. Ladies and children, not first.
I heard that from that Shane Gillis.
I love
that
him.
guy. He's like, oh fuck, it's the gay Vikings.
I don't think Vikings had a sexuality. I think they just
fucked.
They just fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the thing is I think our modern idea of sexuality and even gender, whatever you call it, is somewhat modern. Because I don't think back then they gave a shit. They're like, oh, you're a human being. I'm either A, gonna fuck you or I'm not. Like, I don't think they gave a shit back then.
No, they're on so many drugs, they didn't care.
Well, the
They're
thing
just
is,
drunk all the time.
they also
Yeah.
lived on their natural animalistic instinct too, of just fuck whatever you find attractive.
Hole's a hole.
Yeah, like
Was that pansexual? Was that what that is?
I think that's what that is.
Something like that.
But it's weird to me because I was thinking the other day, of course, well, stoned, but like sexuality is somewhat of a recent construct because we got away from our natural animalistic being. We want to be a different thing, a human. So we try to like say, hey, like back then, gay ain't right. Why? Because we said so. But other animals are fucking other animals, not giving a shit what the fuck they're doing.
See, that's just
Wow.
it. Like, when it comes to that shit, I don't care. Fuck who you want to fuck. Just don't fuck children.
Yeah,
And don't rape.
yeah.
And make sure it's willing and consensual.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't give a shit. And the other big thing that pisses me off, I don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't need to care. I don't care what your pronouns are. I never did.
Still don't care.
Yep. You want to be whatever you want to be. That's fine. You have the
you
right
go.
to be.
Yep.
But I'm going to call you by what I know you, unless you say otherwise. And then I'll try to respect your wishes, but unless I'm not going to just know everybody.
The thing is, the slip-ups happen too. 'Cause, like, I got a friend, and I try my best to call him his new name. I try my best because I like to respect people. But sometimes it slips up. Like, dude, I've known you for like 6 years. Like, it's gonna happen. And also, don't get mad because I view humor as a way of like connecting. And if I can't make fun of you, that means I don't like you, for one. Like, I have this one friend, a very, very good friend at the time. I don't really know him that well anymore because, you know, people grow apart.
Yeah.
But I was in Walmart one day, and he was once a she. And he was like, I got that new Nintendo Switch. I'm like, oh, you got the new Switch, huh?
Oh, God.
And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you got that years ago, bud.
You got that?
Like, we laughed. However, you had that angry person who's not in the conversation get upset. And I'm like, if you can't get upset for somebody else, for one.
Everybody does that now, and it pisses me off.
Like, if that person's upset, then you can step in and say, hey, that was kind of fucked up. Because some people are kind of like...
Quiet about it.
Quiet, shy, whatever. Like, then you can be the hero of the situation. Like, I attend different festivals for different reasons because everybody deserves rights and shit, in my opinion. But, like, other than that, like, if somebody's not upset by a joke, don't fucking step in.
And see, that's what I like about stand-up comedy, especially like, you know, you're starting to dabble your toes into it a lot more.
Yeah.
But like, you got Brad Williams out there where he makes all the, you know, little people jokes. And everybody gets offended, and it's like he's the one making, motherfucker, why are you getting offended for him? It's his joke!
I have a joke that touches on that situation, and I'll just tell it. Culturally, we're told that certain words we can't say. Now, in my opinion, yeah, there's some that a lot of people would rather not say. But if we say you can't say them under any type of conversation, you just can't say it, you're giving that word more strength. So that when a racist person comes around, you're like, oh, God. But if we were freely saying it in quotation, not in a hateful way, then it doesn't have that power. So in my set, I will ask somebody in the audience, like, so, I want to be politically correct. I want to respect everyone. However, I have a story I want to tell. But I don't know how to tell it in the politically correct sense. So here's it in its raw form. When I was 19 years old, I lost my virginity to a midget. I understand. Culturally, that's not an acceptable word. How would I explain that situation without saying, at 19 years old, I lost my virginity to a little person? Because that to me,
That sounds worse.
that sounds significantly worse.
Significantly worse.
And I get it, I don't have to say who it was, but like, come on now.
Still, yeah, it's
Like, we
it's
did
a story.
Here, you can switch it into a D&D standpoint. Be like, somebody rolled a nat 1 on their height check.
I lost my virginity to a dwarf. It sounds like a battle axe is involved. I don't know. So, I don't try to offend people. I just succeed at it. I don't know. I don't think people understand the concept of comedy.
No, people don't.
Because what somebody says on a stage in a comedic stance shouldn't spill over to their personal life. Like the other day, somebody was trying to have a conversation with me, like a serious conversation. And they didn't agree with me, but I was still being respectful, and I was trying to explain to them my stance on the situation. And like, well, aren't you a comedian? Don't you say these fucked up things? I'm like, as a comedian, yes. You don't go to an actor. Like, you don't go to Leonardo DiCaprio and say, hey, you played a racist in this movie.
Right.
What's your stance on race? Like...
It's like, it's a movie, dude. It's a show. It's an act.
We are playing characters on stage. Whether or not it's a exaggeration of ourselves or not is a different story. But we're playing a fucking character.
Yeah. So, and I mean, especially when it comes to that kind of shit, like our music is the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but when we were practicing back in Dilly's Bottom, we had Brock that got on you and I both about, like, well, our songs are always, like, sad and depressing.
Yeah.
That's because that's our state of mind at the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't just write everything for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice if we could, but the music that comes to us is what we're feeling.
Yeah, it comes out too. So it's like, so if someone were to do that, it's like, so what, oh, you wrote a song about, depression, domestic violence, or whatever. What's your stance on it? Like, listen to the song, and you'll pretty much understand how I feel about that.
See, sometimes, like, the art does reflect the person, but sometimes certain forms of their art does not.
No, I mean, let's take Avenged Sevenfold, for example, Little Piece of Heaven. I don't say they're out there fucking corpses.
Exactly.
But it's a good song.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's the same thing. Because we have songs about domestic violence. I've never, thankfully, been. I've definitely been in bad relationships where it's borderline, probably. Getting shit thrown at me or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, I've never been beat the fuck up by a woman, and I've never done the same to one. So I go off of what I perceive from other people's stories.
And I mean,
you know what I mean?
Not to throw names under the bus, but I mean, we've had past members that have all been into that stuff too, and there's a reason why they're past members.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't stand for it. But like when we were writing that one song, we kind of pushed it to the side burner because of the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard bullshit. They're like, well, that song's getting pushed back. It's a bad time for it.
I honestly...
I don't think we ever finished it, did we? I mean, we had it done, and then we decided to change things.
I don't think it's done. No.
To me, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, whether it was uncomfortable to some or not, it had to happen.
Oh, I agree with that. But
Because no, I'm not taking away from what you're saying. I'm just adding to. With the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation, it made it so that people now don't just believe what they hear. Because Johnny Depp lost his whole career, and then he turned around and proved his point in court.
Yeah. Well, when we started with that song, I mean, it started very hard, very, dark on that. And then it's like, we almost had it done, and then all that shit came out. We're like, well, now's not a good time to be putting this out. So we kind of just let it sit on the back burner, and then we started writing other songs, and we started going to record, because this was before we even recorded our first song. We had this going.
Yeah.
So we decided to push it on the back burner, and we went up and did R.I.P. and then Hangman's, and went through what we got now. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad we did what we did, but now we're under pressure to get 5 more songs done. So honestly, I think we should pull that one back out.
It's not bad when I recorded the other night on the Audacity.
So with
it's got a sense of you put your part in.
With that being said, with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case preventing you guys from releasing that song or whatever.
Yeah.
In the world of comedy,
walk around the side on the back.
In the world of comedy, we're often told that there is like a guideline of like when you can joke about a tragedy, when you can joke about something that has happened. And I think in comedy or in music or whatever, you should tackle the situation as it's happening.
Yeah.
Even if it is taboo or whatever, because there has been situations where like Gilbert Gottfried, he's a famous comedian. He told the first ever September 11th joke. Ever. He told it, I believe, in New York, and it was a couple days after.
Yeah.
Controversial, yes, but like I think in music, depending on the lyrics, because I don't think I've heard the song.
Probably not. We don't play it that often.
But I think I think you should release it. I think now's a good time.
Well, the issue about releasing it is, since we started working on it, we've changed our style a little bit, so we're a little bit more aggressive on our lyrics and stuff. So we're trying to add different guitar to match the tone a little bit better. Because what we had, because we put it on the back burner, we stripped some of that song to put into like Dark Skies.
Yeah.
So we don't want to duplicate. So we're gonna have to rewrite the chorus a little bit And that is like the only part we need to finish on as the chorus, ain't it?
What's that?
Domestic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we gotta, because we stripped some of that for Dark Skies.
Yeah.
So we'll have to
I know-
rework it.
I know some bands, they rework different stuff from previous songs and stuff. and
I do it all the
works.
time.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll write a song and I'll be like, you know what? That's just not it. But then we start writing a new song and I'll be like, you know what would sound good there? Is this part that I wrote?
Well,
this
no,
one,
I
this
meant
one.
like later release stuff too. Like they'll borrow from previous stuff. Like I've seen Alice Cooper do that shit. Release sequels of songs and stuff.
see, a lot of our shit too, and that's what I love about it, is we don't realize it until after we write it, but like, My Queen and R.I.P., they're the exact same chords in different order.
When did you release R.I.P.? Was that like?
That was our first song we
Was
released.
that during the whole Queen Elizabeth death? Because that would have been fucked up to release My Queen and R.I.P. at the same time.
We haven't released My Queen yet.
Yeah, that one's not released yet.
That would have been a fucked up
do-
timing.
We do play it live, but we don't have it recorded.
Yeah, like Domestic, we don't play it live or anything, because like I said, we stripped
The
some
chorus
of
needs
it.
to be done, yeah, we stripped a couple things of
You
it.
guys just
We
gonna,
have played it live before, but that was like one of our first shows.
Yeah.
you guys
and
just gonna
that's
release
bad.
singles, or are you gonna do an album?
So
We're working
should,
towards an album. Yeah.
should we talk about that on this?
We sure
If not, I mean, we're always gonna meet up again. I mean, shit, it ain't like.
Well, so in April, it's the 5th he's flying in. I think so. I think 5th he's in, and 7th is the day we start with the studio.
something like that.
But don't quote me just exactly on the dates. But we got a guy from the UK,
In
George
April.
Perks. April, sorry,
In
April.
Yep.
We have a guy, George Perks from the UK, coming in, and we're gonna record a 5-song set with him.
Sure.
So, and
Yeah.
he's recorded a lot of popular tracks and stuff.
Enter
but
Shikari, Bull for Valentine.
Didn't he say he was also working with a guy from The Used?
No,
Or was
that's
it, or,
Verdict.
or was it Under Oath? I can't remember. He said one of those.
There's a whole list of
one of the bands with a U in it.
yeah, pretty much one of those.
But no, he's done a lot of popular work, and he got a hold of our song thanks to Spotify, which is, I'm shocked because he had called us after we released the music video for Dark Skies, but he actually found it on Spotify. So, and
His agent did. He didn't hear it.
Yeah.
His agent did.
but he sent it over to him, and
Yeah.
he liked it. So he's like, you know, I want more from these guys. So he reached out to us, and we'll be working with him in April. We're supposed to be
10
recording.
days.
Yep. We're supposed to be recording demos and sending to them, which is we're working on slowly.
Mhm.
We are not the best for recording ourselves.
I mean, you've done okay.
Yeah, well, that's just
we
it.
pay
That was
people
using
to-
an
we
engineer.
pay someone.
Yeah.
We're doing it ourselves now to send to him just so he has an idea.
Well, how do you record that?
Audacity on the computer.
The same shit we used to do when we were kids, being stupid.
Yeah, now we're adults still being stupid.
Yeah. Just legal to do it now.
The nice thing about it is, I mean, I have a lot more of an understanding of how everything works. You know, I am our sound engineer right now. I'm trying to train our other guy to do it,
Yeah.
but because our last bunch of shows, and I really don't want to throw people under the bus, but I'm going to.
Go ahead.
I'll back it over one guy in particular. But last couple shows we did where I wasn't running sound, the sound was bad. And it's because these people don't know what the hell they're doing. They think, well, I run it this way for this band, so it'll work for every band. We push so much more power than most people,
Yeah.
and he's trying to run like gain, and the one dude tried running phantom power. You can't do that with our stuff. We will break whatever you have
We
on
blew
there.
speakers.
Jesus.
I won't say where.
Oh, that was the one I was going to back the bus over. I'm not.
One of-
The guy that owns the building and runs it, I'll say it, the Monroe Theater. The guy that runs everything there, he's a great guy. That was Rick, right? Rick Brown?
Yeah.
I love working with the guy.
Yeah,
he's a
awesome.
good dude.
He's a great dude.
The guy that he had us do for sound says he's done it for this and done it for that. I don't fucking think he did. It was bad.
We blew their speakers.
Oh, we blew every one of their speakers. And on top of that,
Here.
it gets worse is the fact that we were told, because what we could hear on stage was completely different because we were running 4 monitors,
Yeah.
which is we were running our monitors on the floor. Our monitors are active speakers. They can handle the power.
Yeah.
And then he was using passives to send out to the crowd. Well, passives can't handle it, and he was cranking the gain and everything like that. And I jumped down, and there's a video floating around somewhere. I can find it. But I'm jumping down there, and I'm in the mosh pit, fucking just going ham. And I can hear it because I'm down in the crowd now. And everything's just cracking, popping. It's just bad. And it didn't sound like that up on top. But the only microphone that was working was his. So anytime we had like split up parts, we had to go to the center mic and take over because the other microphones were completely unhearable.
Just useless at that point. But that's just we didn't even like discuss that. It's just like while we were playing, we just noticed, and that just kind of goes with like being in a band for so many years together. We figured that out, and we're just like, hey, just it's your part to sing, get up there. We just it just did it mid show.
Yep, and I mean, there's a lot of times where like, I think it was especially on that show, like Not Afraid in Dark Skies, I just came and like leaned into your mic to do my shit. Because that's the parts where we sing side by side. It's like, well, fuck, if one mic's not working, you can't really do it. And
gotta adapt and overcome.
And there's a lot of that we do with live. There was only one show that didn't happen, and that wasn't because of us. As the group we are now, we had a drummer back then, middle of a song, just stood up and walked off.
Just left.
It's like, and that's
his leg friend just walked off, and we finished the song without him.
And I mean, we're talking, we played shows numb. I've cut my hand open. And so did Alex on that one. There was blood all over the wall, all over his drums. Because at work, he sliced his finger real bad. He just taped it and went to the show, and he went ham, and it looked like somebody got murdered in that back corner.
Fucking Slayer.
It was so awesome, honestly. And that show was terrible. Not because, again, of us, but like the AC, because this was dead of summer. The AC in that building broke. So it's hot as hell. We got Alex bleeding all over the wall.
Almost died from like...
Should have gotten if you would have known sooner, get a professional photographer and make that an album cover.
Well, anymore, and we get so triggered by blood, it's like you wouldn't be able to do any of that type of shit anyway.
Make it black and white. That's what WWE does.
But at the time,
Yeah, I say. I mean, we just kind of, especially when it comes to our shows anymore, we just wing a lot of shit.
I mean, we
get a set list and we're like, let's just fucking do it.
That's pretty much how I handle my form of entertainment. I just wing it. I come up with ideas, but like, you never know what kind of crowd you're gonna have.
No. And there are some places we play where we think we're going to have like an amazing crowd, like the Monroe Theater. Which, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad crowd.
It was good.
There was a good group of people down in the front center.
That was the biggest paid thing. It's because of all the merch we sold.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, we made a lot of money at that show. But like, we had one group of people down in front that was like amazing, and then there was a whole bunch of people in the back, and it's just like, why were they even there? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad they paid.
That's what we call peeping
made our money.
toms. Call them peeping toms at shows. They just...
That one delivery dude that just randomly showed up, that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if he...
I don't know what his name is or anything. He just kind of showed up.
He showed up in his work outfit and it was just like, I love this shit, and just mosh pit the whole time.
I never understood the people that, like, I get it kind of because of anxiety, but people show up at a show and usually the front is completely empty. Everybody just hides in the back. You're like, come to the front, like they're watching live, like an actual TV show instead of live theater. And like, you don't see them.
That's what sucks about being a local band right now, is you got all these people that'll sink $200, $300, $400 to go see a band that's already made it, which don't get me wrong, support them too.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, well, why don't you come pay $10 to come see us?
Yep.
Well, I don't have that kind of money. Well, what the fuck?
Bullshit.
You just paid that much on like one beer at Rock on the Range. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Speaking of Rock on the Range,
Sonic Temple, I think is what it's called now, ain't it?
Yeah, we can talk about it. I don't have the exact dates, but it'll be sometime. I do believe it was early October. There's a new music fest that's going to be coming to the Ohio Valley.
Oh, nice.
Rock the Valley.
Rock the Valley. As of right now, we are booked with them to play a half-hour set.
Oh, nice.
I would love to talk with them one-on-one and maybe get a little bit of a longer set piece with them, but I don't know what all bands they have booked. They haven't announced their lineup yet at all.
Yeah,
my guess
is
is
next
they're still
year.
hiring.
It's next year. Like, it's still... They're in this shit a year
Yeah, I
in
mean,
advance.
it's 11 months.
Well, that's actually how most festivals are. Do it.
Yeah,
They book a year.
It's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be awesome though. I cannot wait for it.
Which one you got?
Blue
as
Ice.
ice.
What's weird to me, and I can never come to the terms to do this, like nowadays, I used to, but like people will buy tickets to these festivals, like the big, like the huge, like Rock and Range type ones. They'll pay tickets and not know who the fuck's gonna be there until like 2 months later. And I'm like, what happens if nobody you want to see is there?
Right.
Like what happens if the lineup just ain't what you want? You just paid, and they're like, well, it's $100 cheaper. I'm like, yeah, but if you buy the day before, it's gonna be $100 cheaper.
And see, I don't know. That's just like in our local area. I don't know who's all gonna see this, but in our local area, we had Jamboree in the Hills.
Yeah.
And it kills me. I was talking to the guys because I used to work that event all the time, and I was talking to the guys on the last one they ever did there. And they said that this was it, this is the last one. I said, well, why is it going to be the last one? Well, this venue it costs more money than it is, worth of what it brings in. Here's an idea. Run more than one fucking event a year.
Yeah, that's been my thought for years. And I had somebody I worked with one time tell me, and I don't know how true this is, it could just be hearsay, but allegedly they were supposed to run like a rock festival there one year, but some organization boycotted it because they're like, there's too many already there. There's only one. Okay, like there's so much, I wouldn't say hatred publicly, but like politically in this area at least towards metal and rock.
So that's actually declining right now. I've noticed that there's a lot more people coming out about it. But like what I hate about this area, and it's not any offense to anybody that's into it or anything like that, is the country music scene. It is way overplayed in this area.
Yep.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And don't get me wrong, we've got good close friends of ours that are into it. Like we hang out and we've done a couple of things with Matt Van Fossen, who will be on The Voice and stuff here soon.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He actually quit his day job to go chase his music dream. More power to him and stuff. But like, I could never get into the country music scene because everything in it has been overplayed, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it, not like the underground stuff, but like the major artists are just pandering, it seems. Like they're singing about shit that they don't actually relate to. Like you have a multi-millionaire singing about a job you don't have. Like, that's where it lost me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it's not relatable. Like when I listen to metal and rock, it's relatable. They're dealing with depression. Yeah, you're famous, but they're still dealing
even
with
like
shit.
the old school R&B and rap and stuff, that shit was relatable because those people were actually living that life.
Yeah.
But now you got all these mainstream ones that aren't living that life and still screaming about it. It's like, okay, but were you ever there? Fuck no.
Like there's relativity, and that's where we're losing in modern music, I think, is the relativity. Even with Ozzy Osbourne, yeah, he's a multi-millionaire, but this dude literally butchered animals for a living, and now he's this rock god. Like, that could be me someday kind of mentality.
Yeah. But like, out of the R&B and the countryside, because they both jumped back and forth on that line,
Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
the two that I really respect, and they're probably like the only two that are left on that side of things, are Post Malone and Jelly Roll. Mm-hmm. They are so much genuine people. Especially like with Jelly Roll going to these prisons, because that's where he came from. Mm-hmm. And he's, performing in front of these prisoners and stuff, or the ones, did you see where they brought the inmates out on stage to do a song with him recently?
Yeah.
Like, it gives those guys hope that they can change their lives around too.
And also with Posty, to add to what you're saying, Post Malone, he doesn't just push hip-hop, he pushes music.
Oh yeah, he's all genres.
Like, there's videos of him doing like a hoedown at a country show, and then one of him moshing at a metal show. Like, this dude has no boundaries when it comes to music.
No.
Well, the only boundary I've ever seen Post Malone have, and if he does for some reason see this, sorry, gonna make fun of you a little bit, but
Have you seen
the
him?
hole, the hole in the middle of the stage when he fell through it and busted his ribs up, I laughed so hard, and not because he busted his ribs or anything like that, but I think it was the next show that he did. He walked around that exact same hole because he sets up the stage the same way at every show he does when he does a tour like that. And he just walked around and flipping it off the whole way. It's like, well, he's not holding a grudge or anything.
Yeah, surely not.
I mean, I laugh at stage falls. Like, I hope they're alright. But like,
Same.
like when Dave Grohl fell off stage.
Oh, that's when he broke his leg and then finished the set?
Yeah, he was sitting there, they were putting a bandage and shit on his leg, and he's still singing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fun fact about that is the rest of that tour, he toured with a throne made out of guitars. That throne was donated to Axl Rose when he hurt himself on the AC/DC tour. And then later on, allegedly, it was donated to Ozzy Osbourne because he was going to continue his tour sitting down, but he never materialized. So it might have been the throne that was used at the Rock Hall of Fame.
So, like, this was 1 or 2 years ago. It might have been longer than that. Shit, my time frames are all messed up. But like, I went and seen Rage Against the Machine up in Pittsburgh.
Fuck you. That's a band I want to see.
Well, I love seeing it, but I was so sad because the 2 nights before, I went and seen him there. I can't remember the lead singer's name.
Zach De La Rocha.
Yeah, he
Music.
he fell and had an accident.
Uh-huh.
So they actually had to carry him on stage and put him out front. And he performed the whole set and everything, but it just... Because I know how much energy he brings, and he still brought a lot sitting there just, sitting stationary, but...
They should have changed their band name that night, Handicapped because of the machine.
But, it was still a great show, and don't get me wrong, but, these artists that can take a fall and take a hit and keep going, I love it. But you get some of these other guys that, my throat's sore, I can't go on. And then you get the other ones that are just like, I broke my leg, let's go.
And also the artists that can't control their temper. That kind of turns me off a bit.
Absolutely.
Like I was about ready to tackle that too. Couldn't control their temper, or, and I get it, we all have emotions, they're normal, human emotions. Or the ones that don't really care about the audience, it seems, also Axel. I saw this man, throw shit at audience members. Now, I get it, you're mad at this one member, but who's to say that your aim is that good that you're going to hit the right person?
Yeah. Now, I have a hard time talking about that because then you get people like Ronnie Radke. I love the guy. I do.
Yeah, but throwing microphones at people.
But that's just it. It's the person he hits not even mad.
No.
But everyone else is.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I don't get. That's what we were talking about earlier. People getting mad for shit that the person that's involved is not even mad about.
I was at a Fallen in Reverse show, and Ronnie, he didn't throw his microphone this night. He tossed it up in the air, because he usually tosses it and catches it, and it hit the tip of his finger and it flew into the audience. And during the whole next song, the audience hijacked the microphone.
See, that's the nice thing about something like that, though, is they got sound engineers for a reason. They can click, that mic's off, here's another one, go.
Yeah. And it was funny, though, because it was a corded microphone. And I'm like, ooh.
See, I could never do a cordless mic. I don't like them.
I prefer them in a way because my art form's different.
Yeah.
So it kind of differs. I prefer wireless because I don't like being on a stage when I do stand up or when I call it entertainment because I'm not always saying funny shit. I'm just saying what I think.
Right.
I don't always like to be on stage, and I don't stay on stage very long because I like the connectivity. I don't feel important enough in regards to the audience. The audience is just as important. I want to be connected to them.
But see, and that's where we run into our issues is we're very forgetful.
Yeah.
Like, we have wireless guitar rigs, and there's a lot of the times we forget to charge the fucking things.
That's it.
So if we just relied on wireless microphones, we'd be fucked.
Oh, yeah.
That happens. I don't really worry. It's the venue that has the microphones typically.
See, we have to bring almost always have to bring our own shit. And there are places we've played that have had stuff. It's like, our stuff's better. I mean, we've invested a lot of money, especially Brock, into the shit we have, and I rather use our stuff than other people.
But to get back to one of the early topics we discussed, because it's something that I feel I've said previously, and I will say it again. It's not my quote. It's Rick Rubin. I don't know if you follow him or not. He's a famous, I think, producer in the music industry. He stated, and you said, like, music you write for yourself, and the interpretations with the audience, whatever. Rick Rubin has a great quote where he says that the audience comes last. The artist should come first, right for you.
Mm-hmm.
The audience should be an afterthought.
And I honestly say that on most our songs, it is like that.
Yeah.
There is one song we kind of wrote that is designed around crowd interactions, and that's Not Your Fault. Is that what we called it? No, that's Dig Your Own Grave. Isn't it? Yeah. We named some of our songs some weird shit that's not even in the song except for like one little...
Well, like with my art form, it's okay to get the audience involved. That's cool. But don't do it for them.
Yeah.
Don't say what you want them to hear.
Well, pressure...
Well, it's not like we write it just for them. It's just...
No,
we use our own personal experiences, and we try to reach out to people that had the same interactions.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's like So it's for everyone. It's not necessarily like there's probably like 2 songs maybe that we have that are just about maybe us, but most of the songs we have, especially if I'm writing the lyrics, you know what I mean, is I'm trying to find that audience to kind of share that experience with, if that makes sense.
Like, that's still in a sense though is, in a way though, that form of writing is somewhat like you want to find people that connect with you, so it's still kind of for you.
Right.
Yeah, so like when we wrote Pressure, Tim wrote, I think he wrote all the chorus.
Yeah.
But like when it came down to the verses, we were all spitballing as a group. I mean, it wasn't just people that are in the band. Like my wife has a line in there. I mean, everybody that was there that night were spitballing ideas and lines and stuff, and almost all of it ended up in the song.
That's also what art is. People don't realize art isn't all about just one individual. We should all work on the art together. You know how many times I've just thought of a random ass idea and local comics help me construct a joke out of it?
Right.
And they're like, make it whatever you want, but I think this would be funny if you added this or this or this.
Yeah.
And you take whatever you want to take. That's like I helped a friend of mine come up with a bit. The bit just started with, he was in Pittsburgh, and it's a real story. He was in Pittsburgh, and there was this homeless guy, and he offered, he's like, $5. I spit up in the air and it lands in my mouth. Right? Well, I told my buddy, not even thinking, I'm like, yeah, too bad OnlyFans isn't available at local libraries, or else he'd make $1.
Right?
And he turned that into a whole bit.
There you go.
I'm like, sometimes you gotta give your ideas to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone in the band obviously has their own job.
Yeah.
You know, like guitar, vocals, me vocals, Brock bass vocals, we drummer, guitars, blah blah blah. But whenever we write songs, we really,
It's a group effort.
yeah, we never do like a dictatorship. I'm never like, you know what, this is only I'm allowed to do lyrics since I'm the singer, right? I am always like, if you guys have any ideas, do send it to me, and I can pick out from there and be like, that's a cool line, I'll put that in there, or like, you know,
Yeah, like
from everyone, and we just kind of construct it. And that's, I don't know if every band does that, because you know, I'm only in this band. So,
Well, some
but
bands treat their projects like solo projects. Some do.
we all help each other. You know, I mean, if I'm writing a guitar lick, and we go to band practice, and I'm like, gosh, check this out, I think I'm on to a new song, right? And I'll play it for him. BJ would be like, you know, hey, how about we do this too, or instead. And I'm like, let's hear it. We never say no in our band. It's always like, well, I can't say we never say no, but it's like, let's try it. We always say, let's try it then, and we'll do it when we'll play it together, and and then we'll do the other one the other way.
Yeah.
And then we'll just kind of decide like which way is that we all collectively agree.
Like even now when that was not last week, but the week before last, I think, where we were sitting up in Alex's, and we were trying to record the new one.
Oh yeah, a couple
And
weeks ago, yeah.
you and I were having a disagreement on how the second verse should go. So you played it your way, I played it my way. We had a vote.
Yep. Which way sounds better, guys? The strum or the da-da-da-da-das?
Da-da-da-da-da.
And that's how it goes. I know it sounds like gibberish, but we know what that means.
Oh,
And
we are
we
definitely
figured
not,
out it was the da-da-da-das.
we're definitely not the most professional when it comes to this shit.
I've heard people refer to it as different noises, like with the drums. They call it, what is it?
Oh, I know Alex
Cats.
hates us for that.
Cat,
Alex probably
cats,
just hates us.
boots, cats, boots, cats, boots and cats and boots and
Yeah.
cats, or is it boots, cats, boots, cats, boots?
That's just, I don't know, we have our own lingo. But we've been a band for years now, and we're talking, I think we got together like 2021,
I've been in since
2020. So it's been about 4 years,
Alex-
at least with us.
Alex came in 2021. I was in 2020.
Yeah.
I know, obviously I replaced somebody,
Yeah.
and then Alex obviously replaced somebody.
Yeah.
But the only originals are you and Brock.
Yeah. I mean, we started in 2019. So me and Brock been consistently doing this for about 5 years.
Yeah, you guys.
BJ's been in for 4.
Did you ever release material with the previous members or no?
No, we never
So
did. We didn't get to that spot yet. But as far as like,
Technically, though, you
Well, we
guys
went-
are
well,
all original because
well, we
we
went through a bunch of shit.
Well-
dude. We had because we were Wilted Rose first. It was just me, Brock, and a drummer. We did that for a little bit, and then we got another band. Well, not another band, but we
No, I
had
remember.
more members, and we changed the name to Another Broken Fall. And we had like 5 members in that one. And then bullshit happened. We had to fire a few people. Then he came, and Alex.
Yeah, I came
Oh,
up
he
with.
came, and then later on Alex came, but still like.
So, I mean,
Then
if
we
we want to go with the Wrath of the Fallen, technically the original members of that were me, Tim, Brock, and then the drummer we had at the time. Because I can't remember why we had to get rid of the name you guys had before. One of the other members, it was their name and whatever, and they threw a hissy fit about it.
Yeah, because we fired him. He's like, no, fuck you. You can't use that name, so we changed it.
So I'm wondering, like, this is a topic that changes the answer depending on the person's interpretation. When it comes to a band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, like Iron Maiden, for instance.
Yeah.
They start off with this one lineup, right? Then they go through lineup changes before even recording anything. Then they record a song with this lineup. Does that previous lineup still consider their original lineup? Or would you consider this lineup because they didn't even write any or release anything yet?
So, in my opinion, I'd classify it by where the name originated.
I gotta take this.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I would originate it by where the name. So, if they came up with, say, Iron Maiden, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Iron Maiden. Anybody that was with Iron Maiden when they first started, those are the founding members. I don't care if they didn't release anything. That is the founding members. Because that is where the name started. So like with Wrath of the Fallen, me, Tim, and Brock are the founding members of that. Now granted, they had their band beforehand and stuff like that, and I came in, but we didn't have anything released until me and Alex came in. So that's when we started releasing stuff, but Alex is not the original drummer of Wrath of the Fallen. Where for Wrath of the Fallen, I am the original guitarist for that.
See,
Now, I know they had additional songs, and don't get me wrong, we still use some of those songs. They were never released. Mm-hmm. And the guy that I replaced, his guitar work on it, and I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I rewrote the guitar stuff for those songs that I was supposed to be doing. I didn't like the way he wrote them.
See, with the reason why I ask is because I've had like conversations about different bands, and people are like, "Well, I prefer the original lineup," and when they say original, it's like the band that they knew, mm-hmm. like the first album, and I'm like, "Well, technically, that's like with Guns N' Roses, for instance. Their original lineup, they actually started because a band by the name of Hollywood Rose, which was Axl Rose's band, and LA Guns, came together. Well, Tracy didn't last that long. He left after like a year or two, but they kept the name. But you can still find music buried. But like, a lot of people don't consider that the original lineup.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes like with Metallica too. You had the original lineup with Dave Mustaine. Mm-hmm. And when he got, kicked out of the band, one of his big requests was, don't use any of my stuff. They sure the fuck didn't honor that.
Wrote them all.
I mean, they used every bit of his shit, which is, don't get me wrong, they had the right to.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
However, allegedly Kirk Hammett couldn't play his guitar solos, so they changed that.
Well, all the songs that we have, we don't have that problem. Mm-hmm. There's never been, especially the ones we have recorded, there's never been like someone that had to get fired where it mattered. You know what I mean? If that makes sense? Like,
yeah, there's only one song that we went and recorded where we fired somebody shortly after, but you guys, because my shit was done.
Right.
We sent them back up to re-record it. But we never released it with the other guy's stuff on there, and he tried to be a dick about it, and he tried to release it on his own with his original vocals on it. But tried to make it sound like we were the guest artists. Now, mind you, this was Hangman's News.
Yeah.
Me and Tim wrote 100% of that song.
Including his guitar part? The other guy's guitar part?
It was
a vocalist.
Oh, just vocalist.
I wasn't always lead singer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and he tried to be a dick about it, like, well, I set up how it was supposed to be set. No, the fuck you did not.
You just sung on it.
Yeah, I would say we had everything set on that song well before you were a part of this. I mean, way before he was a part of that song was done. And it's just he happened to join in right when we were just starting to go to the studio. And then he tried to record it, or send out the recording he was on, and have us listed as guest artists. Like, it's our fucking song. Well, so I went through and I got all our shit trademarked. So I was actually able to send him through the place we use a cease and desist. Which is, he never did, technically. No, but I never pushed it because I found it. Mind you, I found it years later because he buried it when he released it. And it's only got like 200 views. So I was like, man, it's not worth it.
That's just weird though. That'd be like Black Sabbath, like Ozzy releasing a Sabbath tune and just saying with guest Black Sabbath. Like, that'd make no fucking sense.
Now that's like the one thing that kills me on some of these people that are going like guest spots and shit like that would be like Youngblood and MGK got that one song out. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's got it listed that MGK's the guest artist. And it's like he's 90% of the song.
I think the guest part comes in like who wrote most of it or who wrote it, pretty much. Because sometimes they'll say, "Hey, I want you to sing this as a guest," and they'll just sing the whole damn thing.
Yeah, that's I don't know. See, that bothers me a little bit when it comes to that because then it's
just be a writer of his solo shit.
Well, it's just misleading at that point because it seems like you should have been. I know you wrote it, but it sounds like you were the guest artist.
Yeah.
Because you only came in for a line or two.
Yeah, why don't you want to sing on your own shit?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're an artist. But that goes back to like Motorhead had a song called Hellraiser. And they wrote it for somebody else. And they just went ahead and released their version.
Yeah, that's one thing I could never get behind is all these artists out here that sing other people's songs. Like they don't write their own stuff. That bothers me.
I think it's...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get
singers.
it. You are a great vocalist and artist and stuff. Cool. You're just not a very good writer, apparently.
Yeah, that happens a lot, though. Like, Elvis Presley's the greatest example. He wrote none of his own music.
And I'm not shocked by that.
He wrote none of it. He actually... Some of it is controversial because he allegedly stole, like, 90% of his library from black blues and jazz musicians. Because he just didn't care.
That wouldn't shock me.
Because he's like, who cares, like, who this person is?
Right.
I've been actually watching a lot of conspiracy theories around him that he's this pastor or some shit for a church, that he's still alive and stuff like that.
I saw that shit. It's weird.
Well, I'm honestly starting to believe it because if you look, like all the mannerisms are the same. That same dude was at his I think it was his daughter's funeral. And it's like, well, why the hell? Why would he be there?
That shit happened with Michael Jackson, though, too.
See, I've been learning a lot of new stuff about Michael Jackson that I didn't know beforehand, and it's really opening your eyes, especially now that all the Diddy shit came out. It really opens your eyes on what people will say and slander in the public's eye that you really don't know.
No, because as far as I know, Michael actually was trying to... He was starting like a protect the children movement and shit before the whole like him being a child predator. And I think he might have been set up.
I fully believe that now, especially with the Diddy shit coming out.
Michael had connection with Diddy and ended them quickly.
Mm-hmm. And I think the fact that he was going to throw Diddy under is what caused the allegations to come out. The way they did is they're like, well, we can't, at that time, I'm not going to say he did or didn't kill people, but at that time, Diddy didn't have access to take him out that way.
Yeah.
So, but he did have access to the media and stuff and could slander him to the point where nobody would believe him.
Allegedly, he took out Tupac and Biggie.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's to say maybe allegedly he did the same with Michael? Because the whole allegations didn't work. And the thing is it's sad because Michael won the court case, but in the public eye, he was guilty.
I saw something stupid. I don't know if I believe it or not. I just saw it on the internet and take it with a grain of salt. But they're saying that Chester Bennington found out about Diddy and Diddy silenced Bennington.
They said that about Chris Cornell as well.
Same, yep.
As Babe ordained.
And it's weird because Chester passed on Chris Cornell's birthday that year, which is weird. With the Diddy thing, though, is I think he's honestly just a small pond in a bigger sea.
Oh, I agree with that. The only thing I think Diddy truly hurt during all this was, I'm not going to say truly hurt, because he hurt a lot of people, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, when everything was discovered, the only person who really took a hit was Johnson & Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Their stock dropped.
And it's weird because the baby oil they found wasn't even baby oil they discovered later on. It wasn't. It was liquid ecstasy.
That's even worse, I think.
10,000 gallons?
Yeah.
What?
That'd be a hell of a trip.
What's weird is, though, is in the public eye, and, like, I'm guilty of joking about it, I'm a comedian, but people focus in on, like, how fucked up his sex life was. And, like, the things that a lot of people are focusing on is the consensual, kinky sex that he was having. They're not looking at the possibility that some of it wasn't.
It's true. You never know.
You saw the way he treated his ex in that hotel freaking hallway. Who the hell knows what happened behind closed doors? And also these celebrities that are being taken down that are innocent. Because Diddy would have innocent parties during the day, and then would have the ones at night, and they're trying to put like celebrities like the Wayans brothers. Like, oh, you're at a Diddy party. No, not that one. I was at kind of like Epstein.
Yeah.
There's people that was on his flight that was going to charity events. They didn't know Epstein. They just went with him because he was throwing these charity events. Then you have the ones who are on the island. You have like, it's a very messy situation because what these people do is they want to paint themselves in the public eye as this great person, or they're doing all these great things, and then have a separate list of bad, and they mix the two.
Yeah, and that happens with everything. It's not just celebrities or politicians. It has nothing to do with. So that's everybody.
Yep.
Every group of people. You could be friends with somebody, and they can turn around and for example, we use people that we know in our lives. We knew them. They turn around and beat their wife or whatever. And they're like, well, you were friends with him, so you must know. I didn't know he was doing that fucking shit.
No,
I found out the same way you did. The arrest report.
Yeah, we saw his ass on a mugshot and fired him.
That's like, I kind of feel bad for bands and people that get publicly ridiculed, like Lost Prophets. The band members got ridiculed because their singer was a really monstrous guy.
Yeah.
They're like, we tour together, yes, we spend a lot of time together, yes, but we don't know that's going on behind closed doors.
Yeah. No. Yeah, Lost Prophets. It sucks too because I really enjoyed Lost Prophets.
Same.
And I still do like the songs, but I can't. I choose to boycott the music.
They have a new band
because I can't. Well, that's good, but I can't. All the old stuff. It sucks because there's a few songs that I just they're in my head. Like, damn, I want to listen to that song. I'll look it up on YouTube. But I'm like, I don't want to give. That was Ian Walker or
Ian Watson,
something like that. I can't. I don't want him to get another dime from me at all.
It's really weird.
And it sucks. I love those songs. But.
It's really weird because, like, and back to the public thing, people publicly ridicule people that we don't even know if they're guilty or innocent. Like Diddy, for instance, we don't know.
Yeah, but we know that guy was.
Yeah, we know he's fucked up. Yeah. But like, even if we didn't know, like, let's say it wasn't public till now, he would already be guilty, and we don't know. Wow. We do now, but like it's been in the public eye for a while. But I mean, like, for instance, somebody like that happened.
And that's where modern society is it's really not modern society anymore.
No.
We're kind of going back to the witch trials.
Yeah, Salem witch trials, and that's happening again too with people that are different thing. But
yeah, I mean that's the time frame we're getting back into. Somebody says something, guilty.
Yeah.
Like, can we pull some evidence first?
I think trials, cases, court systems, all of that, arrests should all be private until the court system declares them innocent or guilty. Why do we need to know that some celebrity got arrested for something they might be guilty of?
Well, and let's take it one step further than that. It shouldn't even be to the point of being guilty before it becomes fully publicized. Yeah. Because there are people that can go in and, I don't know what the correct terms are, but they go back in and get their trial re-looked at and stuff after they've already been guilty, spent their time, all that shit. But they go back in with new evidence, like, well, look, see, I was innocent the whole time. But it's too late because they're already demonized, and in the public opinion and eye, it already happened. And the worst part is, with the modern court systems, like, I know somebody personally. He is now, after he's already spent his time and everything like that, he's been proven innocent.
Yep.
He cannot get it removed off his record.
And the issue with a situation like that, and I don't know if it's the same situation, I'm just saying I have a similar person I know. The way the court system works is they scare you into taking a plea bargain.
That's exactly
and
what
then when you take the plea bargain, even if they find out you're innocent, you already admitted to the crime. So you are now tied to that crime. And they'll tell you crazy shit, like if you don't admit to it, you'll serve 30 years. But if you do, you'll serve 5.
Yeah.
That should be illegal.
It should be.
You're trying to find the right person. Why are you...
Yeah. Someone asked me once, they're like, if you could make any law 100%, like no matter what, that would always be followed no matter what, mine would always be perjury.
Yep.
That way, justice would be real.
Yeah.
Actually, the one I'll add to that, which I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best with words and shit, but I believe cops should not be allowed to lie to you. I think that if you catch a cop or any person in any sort of court system, but they can't. They're allowed to.
You have the human nature and whatever.
And also, cop cars should be visible for the naked eye, like you know they're a cop car, because they're public servants for one.
Each state has their own different.
And also, they're supposed to be there to serve and protect, correct? How am I to know that car that you can't even tell is a cop car is a cop? How am I going to know I need help from a police officer, but I don't know what the fuck one looks like?
Yeah. Well, and see, I agree and disagree with that statement.
Call 911, I guess.
I agree that any cop car that is out there being a public servant, sitting on the side of the road, whatever, yes, they should be clearly visible. However, I do believe there should be unmarked and stuff like that for raids and stuff like that when they're doing dangerous work.
Yeah.
Where they need, to be hidden.
Yeah.
I agree that they should be able to have that, but the fact that I can blow by an unmarked car on the interstate and then they turn around and pull me over, I mean, granted, yeah, I'm still in the wrong. I blew by them.
Right.
But they should have been marked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of gets back into just don't do illegal shit and you have to worry about it kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you know how many things are illegal there that shouldn't be? Like nature and...
It still is, though. It's just...
Yeah.
I think laws should, like certain laws just shouldn't be. There should be the obvious things that are against law and the rest should be legal. If you're not hurting somebody else, who the fuck cares what you're doing? I don't even care what you're doing. As long as you're not hurting somebody else in a physical sense, I don't care what you're doing. And that's kind of like in Amsterdam, the way their law works. If it is happening on public property, law enforcement has no business being there unless somebody is called there and being harmed. And anything they find that has nothing to do with that crime, they cannot hold against you. So you can snort a fucking line in front of a cop through your bedroom window and they can't do a damn thing.
Well, they could.
No, not in Amsterdam. No, not in Amsterdam.
Oh, in Amsterdam. Fuck.
Yeah,
I was like,
Public, they are public servants, which they're supposed to be here. They're only...
Well, I think, isn't it California that is like, drugs are just legal now?
No, that's Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
One is like, you can like shoot up heroin, and the pharmacy will give you the needle to do it.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
I think all drugs should be legal because there's only one victim and it's you.
Well, that's
No,
where
that's not-
I
that's
disagree
not-
with you.
that's
No,
right.
they're going to do it anyway, though.
They are, but that's just it. Is they're not the only victim. Think about it this way, and I'm going to use.
Car crashes, fucking.
Well,
I'm
no.
going to use my personal.
That's illegal still.
I'm going to use my personal life for this. Okay, I had one of my parents. I'm not going to say which one, but it's not the one we're at right now.
Yeah. Undisclosed location.
But so massive drug user.
Yeah.
Massive. Always getting into the pills and all that kind of stuff. To the point where wasn't taking us to school anymore, and we didn't live where we could get a school bus ride. So I was missing out on education, because of her habit. Mm-hmm. We didn't have food on the table because of her habit. So I'm a victim based on her choice.
Yeah, but the law didn't prevent her from doing so, is my point.
The law did prevent her from doing so. Because she was court obligated to do this and that because she was already been busted before. And so she was court obligated to go to here, and here, to the point where she was burning through her gas money, she was burning through all this shit. Because the only treatment centers in this area at the time were in Dallas Pike, and we lived here.
See, with Oregon, though, their system, and this is where the argument changes and shifts. I understand there's victims. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying that it's, okay to do drugs. What I'm saying is if they're going to do it, they should be able to do it safely. We have a major STD problem because of dirty needles. We have a major fentanyl problem because no drugs are being tested. So in Oregon, they test the drugs. You know what you're getting. And also the taxes that are going towards the drugs are opening up rehabilitation centers for people that actually want and need help.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, though.
If you don't want HIV, just don't do drugs.
Yeah, but...
I mean, I am fully supportive.
Yeah, but you can have sex with somebody that had sex with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but that's...
But you had the ability to go buy your own protection to prevent it.
You could have done that.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's the same with the needles. You can go buy your own needles.
That's true.
Needles are not illegal.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be arrested for doing what you want to do to your own body.
See, in some cases of that I disagree with, and some I do. With the drug thing, the reason I disagree with it so much on the harder drugs, like, let's use heroin for an example, is the shit that, you're saying it doesn't hurt anybody besides that person. It takes them out of their own state of mind that you don't know what they'll do.
Fair.
they can go hurt all kinds of people because
But
they're
those
not.
are individual cases that should be taken care of.
Right, which is why there's a law on them, because it's like people, if they could just go smoke, because those people already aren't in the greatest state of mind for already like smoking meth and shit.
And a lot of people.
And if they make it legal, they're just gonna smoke and drive anyway, or do whatever, and then they could kill a whole
What
family.
I don't like though is
You know?
the fact that we as a society, not us in this room necessarily, but we as a society, like to blame the addict. We like to say, "Hey, it's their fault. They chose it." But a lot of people are born addicts. A lot
Yeah,
of-
they could be born, yeah.
But
But it's also their choice to continue to do it.
Yeah, but your body, there's a lot of states of mind that you really like. Depression, for instance, you can't necessarily control that thought, especially when you're born with it. If you're born to an addict, it's a never-ending. Kind of like if you're born into abuse, it's a never-ending cycle of abuse unless you tackle that cycle.
Right, it's up to them, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I just don't like the mentality of blaming the person.
it depends on the situation.
Situation.
We're able to disagree. It's not like,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
but it is up to them.
That's the point of podcast.
You know what I mean? Because like no one wakes up and they're just like, damn it, I'm addicted to meth now. They got addicted to meth because of their addict
But
mentality.
the point I was making, some
You know what
people
I
are
mean?
like that. I met the people that are born and they're already addicted.
Right. But then
Wow.
again, you're an infant. So unless someone's feeding you meth your whole life,
and a lot of that
you're
actually
not gonna
comes from
get it.
the pregnancy. The mom are still using, and that's why I think it should be illegal across the board on this shit. Because if the mom wasn't able to use it, which don't get me wrong, she's
Easily, yeah. Easily.
then the kid doesn't have access to it inside the womb. I mean, so it's gonna be no matter
It's because of the
way you look
fear.
at it.
Yeah, it's the fear of jail and prison that
There
can't
is
stop most honest people from doing.
there is no 100%
No.
positive way to tackle that issue because at the end of the day, we should all have bodily autonomy. We should be able to have control over our own body, whether it's positive or negative in other people's eyes. But also, we need to protect certain people as well. So there's really no real way to tackle any situation, really.
See, I mean, there is a way, and it's a way that we cannot enforce publicly because of the society we're in. But like these people that use it, just especially the ones that are complete addicts that have lost everything. Like Wheeling's got a massive homeless problem, and the part that irritates me is all these people are like, "Well, we got this massive homeless problem. We should be paying for them to do this and do that, do this and do that." I've given these homeless people food, and they've thrown it back at me because they want money for drugs and alcohol.
Yep.
They have chosen this life, and that's why I believe we should not be able to support them in their decisions. Because they're going to take whatever you give them and feed a habit instead of creating a solution.
Yeah, plus those places that give people free needles and stuff, it isn't free. It comes from taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, nothing's free in this world.
That's like in Arizona, which I think is kind of cool in a way. They have programs. Last I checked, I could be mistaken now, but they had programs to help the homeless like get sober and stuff. But they also had like little homeless villages and shit, which I thought was cool.
Wheeling tried to do that, but like my company, I'm not going to say because everything like that. My company has donated shit to one of those camps.
Like
that they were
sanctuaries
using.
or whatever they're called, or
Well, they call them camps in
whatever.
Wheeling.
Yeah, it is.
But they were abusing the situation so bad that they actually made the health department had to get involved and shut it down because it got so dirty and disgusting because they wouldn't take care of themselves. All they cared about was getting drunk, getting high, and fucking. That was it. They didn't care about anything else.
American dream.
Right?
Sounds like a party to me.
And that's just it. That's what they were treating it like, but it was causing bigger issues with theft. Like, I'm not joking. When we went and cleaned that out, because we spent probably 3 days cleaning that out, you know how many stolen TVs that we pulled out of there that people were just literally breaking into people's houses in that area and were stealing TVs and shit? Which just killed me because what are they doing with the TV? They don't have power. There was no electricity at these camps.
You can sell them, pawn it.
So exactly, that's what they were trying to do, but pawn shops were having to stop.
But we're not taking TVs no more.
When I lived in Arizona, there was this homeless guy. I give him great credit. He had a TV and a couch on top of a bus stop.
Oh, nice.
He had his own little living situation. I'm like, he ain't even homeless no more. He's just living.
He's just living.
He's just living the dream. Wasn't plugged into nothing. but-
Now one thing I like when you said about people should have control of their own.
Yeah.
Okay. The woods thing, people like in the forest and stuff.
people
I
live-
think if you just want to go live in the forest, it shouldn't be illegal to do so.
The government don't want you to not pay taxes.
Exactly.
Even though taxes...
Like, if you want to go out there, bro, and have a tent, and you're out there and you're just hunting and fishing...
See, I agree with that to a point.
We're animals. We shouldn't...
Well, you shouldn't be in someone's backyard.
Well, it's not even...
You should go in the woods, man.
It's not even that, though. Wheeling was having an issue with a lot of brush fires because these idiots are from the city.
Yeah, they don't know.
And they didn't know what the fuck they're doing out there, and they're trying to live that life, and they're causing fires and
but still, regardless, even if the people that do know what to do, it's illegal just to go out into the woods and live.
And collect rainwater.
I'm gonna throw my current hometown under the fucking bus so hard right here. But like, we had 3 houses.
They have a good enough job doing that themselves.
No, not Wheeling. I'm talking about Mozart.
Oh, okay.
Wheeling's its own problem, but I technically live in
Wheeling's
Mozart,
just
which is
a
part of Wheeling.
Wheeling's just a fucking.
But like in Mozart, we had 3 houses. The house in the middle was abandoned, and Mozart is full of abandoned houses. But the one in the middle was abandoned, the other 2 were not. Homeless people took over the one in the middle, and it looked terrible. Like, they had a couch on top of the front porch. I don't know fucking why it was there.
Or how.
Oh, I know exactly how. They threw it out the window. The window was busted.
Oh, that's amazing.
But
Love it.
That's all.
but my problem with this is the homeless people then got completely fucked up. I think one of them actually ended up dying in this because they were so fucked up on drugs and alcohol that they had a fire get completely out of control, and it torched the whole fucking building to the ground. But not only because of how Mozart is, but houses are fucking this far away from each other.
Right, they're just there.
Yeah, so that went up, so it caused the other 2 houses of innocent people to catch on fire. But here's the worst part of the whole situation. From me to you away is the local fire department.
Oh.
They never responded.
Never did anything else.
Because...
They just wanted rid of it.
No.
Fucked up.
Probably. They're
No,
just like, oh, fuck
my
it.
local fire department, I've had people like, I was messing around with a band called Soul Bridge before I met you guys, stuff like that. Their band van broke down behind the fire department. Like, burned so hot, the frame welded to the asphalt.
Wow.
Got that fucking hot. No response.
No response.
And I've been up there for... I'm going to move closer to the mic now.
No, you're good.
I've been up... Oh, no, I was just 6 miles
Yeah,
from the
move
mic.
closer to me.
The other mic.
Do it.
Oh.
But, no, I've lived up there for like 10 years now. And in the 10 years I've been there, they every year knock on my door and ask for donations. I've never seen them do anything. 10 years, I've never heard them respond to anything, go to anything. Not a car crash, not a fire, nothing. And there's been, in my area, several house fires that have burnt to a complete and total loss.
You know what's sad?
And they never
is
responded.
A lot of this homeless and drug problem can be pinned back to not just government but pharmaceutical industries. They created these drugs. It was even proven that the whole crack epidemic was created by the government.
Oh, and that's just it. Is everything like that's going to come down to the government in one way or another.
And it's fucked up. I believe all natural drugs like cannabis, psilocybin should all be legal.
Yep.
Because it's nature. Now,
Yeah, if you don't have to alter it chemically, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not innocent in the fact that clearly I've been sitting here enjoying a cigar.
That's what all medicine is, though. Modern medicine is we took a plant and we altered it.
Yep. But like tobacco is, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm known for using it, especially in the vapes and stuff too. But this is full of so many fucking chemicals that are toxic to the human body.
And to those around you.
Yep. And it's legal. But in most states, I don't know about most anymore. I don't follow the laws like you do. I used to,
Over
but, like,
half, I think.
But like in Ohio, I stole your chair because I needed back support for a little bit.
I see that.
But in the states that it's legal, cool, it's great. It should have been. It should have always been that way.
Yeah.
But you're telling me I can still, in those states that it's illegal, I can still go buy this?
Or drink alcohol, too. I mean, alcohol is just as bad for the human body.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. And also, psilocybin is still illegal in most states. It's only legal in like 1 or 2.
But even like going back to weed and stuff, yeah, in Ohio, it's completely legal here.
Yep.
Great.
Well, not completely. They still, you can only grow so many plants and all that shit. But yeah.
But you know what I'm saying,
It's
though.
not good, yeah.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I
But
get what you mean.
me, being a CDL driver, I still can't touch it.
Nope.
But yet, I can't touch it. I can't even go home, take an edible, whatever, because I'll lose my job, blah, 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 all that shit. But yet I can go home and drink a case, and nobody bats an eye.
Yeah. They'll get there hopefully one day.
There's already some state jobs that are taking it off of drug tests in some states, but federal jobs due to it still being against the federal. Now, the good note is, though, is I believe it is now legal in enough states where the federal government has to at least look at it.
Oh, good, thanks.
Because I think it has to be over half of the states where the government starts looking at it, and we're at, I think, like 2 or 3 over half.
We're slowly getting there. I mean, fuck, we're lucky that Ohio even made it legal. I mean, I never thought that would ever happen. One of the charges I have is possession of paraphernalia. All it was a fucking weed pipe in my car. And me and my buddies were down by the lake, and we aren't already snowed.
Just a little bowl.
We had nothing. Well, it was a corn cob pipe.
How was that drug paraphernalia?
Yeah, well, because
You're fucking Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, dude, we smoked everything we had. We went down to the lake, and all we were doing was sitting there chilling, just laughing and having a good time. We were doing nothing. I mean, it was illegal at the time. I was like 19, maybe.
Where the hell did you get the pipe?
Oh, what? Dude, I'm from Woodsfield, man. You can get corn cob pipe at the gas station.
So, like, when I was growing up...
But anyway, yeah, that's like, fucking park rangers show up, and my buddy, this dumbass, left the pipe just on the dashboard. So he come down, he's like, whose car's up there? I was like, it's mine. It's actually my dad's, but I was the one that was driving it. And he interviewed all of us, blah, blah, we're all spending shit. It was super funny. We're all like laughing our ass off. He's trying to play detective. It was funny and shit.
He's trying to be serious.
Yeah. Like one at a time, he's putting this in the car, and we're all sitting there just like, because we're just stoned as shit. But well, anyway, eventually he's like, listen, this is like you drove. This is your possession because it's your vehicle. Even if it's your dad's, you drove it here. It's yours. I'm like, oh, then that's mine. I got 2 months probation for. We had no weed or anything, but we did smoke out of it. So all we had to do was scrape it. So I got 2 months probation for that. And it's dumb, right? I mean, it's really dumb for that to be on my record for life. Especially now that it's legal, it's like, bitch, get that shit out of here.
See, and that's why I love running into, like, the dumb cops that, like, have never been around it. Like, they're the rookies that you can tell don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because, this happened to me and a bunch of my buddies. This was before school. We snuck off to go smoke. And now, mind you, we didn't get the nice corn cob pipe like you. We had the 10 mil socket, a fucking 2-liter bottle.
Fuck, you got a bottle? I had, like, a Coca-Cola can.
Yeah, I've done that.
I do that now.
Fucking Alex. The can he's got.
Oh, yeah.
The Alex still does that.
I still do it. Yeah.
You can actually get a ceramic that's shaped like a can.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Take it back to your childhood.
But, so, we've got the bottle, and just a bunch of us pass it back and forth. Well, a fucking cop comes wrapping around the corner, and first thing, obviously, naturally, it's gone. We tossed it, and he's like, well, I can smell you guys are back here smoking. We're like, fuck. He's like, so hand me the cigarettes.
Say less.
Done.
Say less.
See ya.
It's like, that comes with a less of a charge. And he didn't charge us, he just took them and he destroyed them. I was like, okay, cool. And back then, thank God, cigarettes weren't the price they are now. I'd never be able to afford that shit.
Jesus, dude.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking throw myself under a bus now, but I made so much money in high school selling to all the kids that couldn't buy it. Because I got into the time where, I think you were too, where you could get it at 18. Yeah. Where they switched to 21.
Yeah. It switches to 21, I think, like in 2017, 16?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was 2018.
18? Okay.
But so I would buy it for all the, kids underage stuff, but that was nice because I made such a fucking profit.
Well, depending on what state.
I like how he's incriminating himself.
Statute of limitations.
Exactly. I mean, this is over a decade old.
Yeah.
Dude, they should have that shit on Facebook, the statute of limitation. I'm getting hit with shit from 7 years ago. I'm like, I ain't even that guy no more. Like, no.
Dude, I got hit with a Facebook ban like a couple weeks ago. Like, I couldn't comment anymore for like X amount of time. I was like, what the fuck was this for? I pulled back. It was for a comment I made in 2012. I was like, holy shit!
That ain't even me no more. I don't know.
Not even that person.
I was a fucking teenager. Come on.
Yeah. Have you guys seen these fucking shipping container homes?
Yeah, dude. I honestly want to make one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like, the one I really want to do is you see the people making the old school buses? I would love to buy one and put a fucking studio in the back.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Somewhere we can haul all our equipment, have a studio, and keep like 4 fucking... Well, we have to do 5 now because we got Chris.
Yeah.
Keep 5 of the fucking seats in there for us to travel and shit, like, sleep and shit.
Yeah.
But I would love to do that and just have a full studio in the back.
Well, why don't we do that as a society too? Make more, like, donate shipping containers that aren't used anymore.
The issue you run
into
into...
toxins.
No, it's not even the
Stuff like
toxins.
that too, like lead paint, rust, and all
Well, it comes down to the rust and the fact that a lot of those, the reason they're decommissioned is because they're no longer watertight. So,
but you could make it that way.
Yeah.
If someone donated one to me that was absolute trashy, I think I could still make it. Because you have to pass. But it has to pass inspections.
Yeah.
First, you gotta get the land to do it. Then you got preferably get plumbing, right, or at least whatever. And this does involve inspections.
At that point, I mean, you really don't have to do the plumbing. Look at New York City. I mean, shit, you can buy get a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City for like $1,800 a month, and it doesn't even have a fucking bathroom in it.
It don't even have a bedroom.
No, it's, when they say a 1-room apartment, they do mean a 1-room apartment, not bedroom. Room.
I lived in a boarding house when I was 19. It was just a big fucking house, and we all shared the same bathroom. It was like a 7-bedroom house. Everyone just rented a fucking. It was like $75 a month.
Who the fuck lives in New York with those prices? Shit.
I don't understand how people do it.
Tourist trap.
Well, fucking does. It's awful.
Look, I saw this one thing on the radio. Well, I saw it and then I heard it. On the radio, this woman lives in a city around here in Ohio. She's just on the outskirts of Columbus. She works in New York City. It is cheaper for her to get on a plane every morning and fly to New York City, go to work, jump on a plane, fly home every day than it is to get an apartment in New York City.
Whew. You must make good money out in New York. What's the minimum wage? Like $200? Oh, he's answering phone calls. Look at this.
I think that was his mom.
It was.
Oh, we can wrap up if you want. You can
I have to. I have plans at 3 anyway.
I don't know what time it
What
is.
time is it?
1:30.
Oh, then we're good. We can do a second part if you want sometime.
That works out for me.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Much love. Much love.
Don't take off just yet.
Listen to Wrath of the Fallen on YouTube and Spotify, bitches.
On everything. It doesn't have to be those ones. They just make us
No,
more money.
specifically, please.
I mean, yeah, they make us the most money, honestly.
Yeah.
I always hear people say, like, talk shit on Spotify. They make decent money on there.
Oh, no.
I think we've made like $30 so far.
Doesn't Google pay a higher percentage?
I don't know because I'm not gonna lie. Like our Google amount is like I think 3 people.
Maybe.
But more people on Spotify, but I think the percentage is higher elsewhere because there's not the.
Well, see, like
people.
Spotify, we make like 10 cents every like 200 streams. Something else.
Yeah, the way that they do it is just ridiculous.
But
like,
guys, that was Wrath of the Fallen. Go check them out. Much love. Live long. Rock hard.